Welcome to South First, where we narrate the other half of India's story. I am Chetna Belgiri. I've been waiting to do this interview and want to do this one because it is one of the most exciting and important topics that we are ever going to be discussing about in all my interviews on health issues, probably. The idea that you can be addicted to always being on the screen, mobile phone, social media, video games, and how this can change your life is dramatic. And it is important to discuss this. And today, we have perhaps the best person to talk about this, Dr. Manoj Kumar Sharma. He's a clinical psychologist, the coordinator of Service for Healthy Use of Technology, SHUT Clinic, which is India's first de-addiction clinic in the Nimhans compound. And he has earlier worked for National Drug Dependence Treatment Center at All India Institute of Medical Sciences. And he's also the member of WHO Group on Addictive Behaviors and Lancet Group on Gambling. Welcome to our show, Doctor.
Thank you.
Doctor, recently I was at a hotel and I saw a family of four sitting on this table next to me. Two young children, maybe about 8 and 13, and their parents, of course, and all of them engrossed on their smartphone. So I'm sure this has been like a common sight in many Indian homes, offices, and other places. I'm sure everybody has seen this kind of a scenario and probably even been in one. So, Doctor, today I think it's very important to look at tech addiction per se, and also on different kinds of addiction due to technology. So, if we could just first talk about when do we actually say that we are developing an addiction to a technology?
This is very relevant questions, and I think it's require more awareness. Like, what are the signs of my excessive or addictive use of technology? The first sign stands for like if you have continuous desire or preoccupation with use of any online platforms. It can be because vary from person to person. It can be gaming, it can be social media, it can be any other show series or any other platforms. So if you have first continuous desire to use technology, and second comes the loss of control. Once you initiate use of technology, do you have control? Like for all activities, we have control. We know when we are going to log out, when we are going to say it's complete. But if you find yourself that you are finding it difficult to say no to yourself, and your use continues, and it's maybe in terms of hours, or sometimes it becomes a nuisance for other members of the families or at workplace. That is also a manifestation of loss of control. So that's the second criteria. Third is continuous use despite knowledge of harm. You know that because of my technology use, my sleep gets disturbed, my productivity is getting affected, my physical activities is not as great as it used to be earlier, and my social life or family life is also showing a decline or disturbances. If that is happening, and despite all these things, you continue your technology use, that's become the third sign. So if all these three C's comes up, continuous use, loss of control, and continuous use despite knowledge of harm.
A little bit about, if you can briefly tell me about the SHUT Clinic, and also what age group do you see? Is there any particular age group of people who come there? And also what exactly is this SHUT Clinic?
This clinic for SHUT Clinic, which stands for Service for Healthy Use of Technology. It was initiated in 2014 based on our research as well as from the feedback from the caregivers. And the main purpose of this clinic was to build up awareness about technology-related issues, enhance manpowers in terms of teachers, counselors, training to recognize signs and advice for healthy use of technology, and as well as to carry out research in this domain to build up Indian-based data for it. And from 2014, we are seeing like recently in the last 3-4 years, we have seen a sudden spikes in treatment-seeking behaviors. And most of the treatment seekers are predominantly in the age group of 14 to 20 years. But we have seen children as young as 6 years also, because parents found that because child has excessive preference for technology use, and which is affecting his academic and physical activities. But beside this 14 to 20 age group, we do get cases in the adult age group like 25 to 35 also, which is predominantly pornography related cases we are getting in this age group. And we do get some cases of people who are above 60 also, because they also reported excessive uh, use of screen in the form of binge watching or show series or spending time with the technology. But predominantly, our population remains in 14 to 20 years. And the main reasons for seeking help is gaming. Gaming is a predominant concern, followed by YouTube, social media use, and other online platforms, and the further followed by use of pornography and this kind of binge watching and other things.
When you talk about this, how dangerous can this get?
Definitely, because all these games has a novelty component. Children enjoy that novelty. Children enjoy the thrill of playing and winning the games, being a survivor in the end. So this kind of thrills definitely attract majority of the adolescents. Secondly, majority of adolescents or are playing this kind of games. So it's become a peer pressure also, because if their friends are playing, they also want to be in company of the friends and they start playing. Third thing comes like because of change in family context and other issues, child feel experience loneliness and boredom in the family context if he or she has free time, and they feel these games give them the platforms to overcome this boredom, and they also provide them a lot of acknowledgement which they are not getting in the offline context. So that's become the third reasons for having excessive use of gaming. And the fourth is like it also fulfill their need to talk, it also fulfill their need to get connected with others of the same age group, and when they are connected with the people of same age group, they do talks in a disinhibited way. Like they can talk the way they want. There is so that also component brings them more thrill and novelty. So all these reasons also contributes for excessive use of technology, but or excessive use of gaming. But because of excessive use of gaming, they are also experiencing dysfunction in academics. They are also experiencing dysfunction in social life. They are also experiencing dysfunctions in family life. And all these things also contribute to low self-esteem or low self-efficacy. They feel that I am not good. And to get that goodness feeling, again, these dysfunctions prompts them and motivate them to remain in the gaming arena or gaming platforms, and which becomes a significant concern.
Okay, so you're saying that the sense of instant gratification which they get, and the sense of recognition, and which it is difficult to get in a real world, kind of pushes them to do this more often. So, how do, as parents, are there any signs to recognize this kind of addiction, that your child is actually getting into addiction, or they themselves as an adult is getting into this kind of addiction? So, what are some of the signs?
I think broad science comes in terms of lifestyle changes. If you find that there is a change in the sleeping pattern, that there is a change in the sleeping cycle, like he or she is sleeping at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., that is generally the habits remains because they have to play with international team players. Second is the lack of interest in day-to-day activities, whether it is academic, whether it is professional, or any other activities. Third is more solitary lifestyle, preference for solitary lifestyle, preference for screen-based activities. That's the third sign. Fourth is behavioral issues. They do shows behavioral disturbance in the form of anger outbursts, irritability, whenever he or she are advised not to use it or they are advised to do certain other things. So if these kind of changes are coming up, then definitely it shows that there's something is happening with the child or adult. Then we have to do a good communication. We have to interact with them. It may be technology or it may be some other issues also. But that's become the broad sign that something is happening with the adults or the adolescents.
So, if there is anything, is there any like before they actually come to a clinic like SHUT, or go to a doctor who can clinical psychologist or somebody who can actually treat this thing? Is there anything which the parent can actually try and do?
Yeah, because gaming or phone addiction, it is one of the major concern, and all parents want that child should have healthy use of phone or internet. But I think parents also have to understand that why this preference for mobile phone and internet use has come in their child's lifestyle. So I think to understand this, rather than taking away mobile phone, rather than advising them not to use or label them as addict, they should communicate with their children in a non-judgmental way. I'm again emphasizing communicate in a non-judgmental way so that you can understand your child or you can understand your adult. that what are his reasons, his or her reasons for use, whether it is a family based reason, whether it is environmental based reason, whether it is occupational based reason. And if once you identify those reasons, help them to sort out those reasons in whatever way you can facilitate the solution for them. If those solutions are not possible, then again motivate them to seek professional help rather than emphasizing again on technology use. Because if you are emphasizing on technology use without giving due attention to other variables, it will move the adult or the users from the parent. He will say they are not understanding me. There's no reason to talk to them because they will just advise me shut down the phone.
So, is there any time limit per se? Like, is there any rules which you can set saying that, every day I can use my phone for other than your work? Of course, people who are working on phone, I mean, on your technology, I think it's very difficult for them to limit it. But then if you are saying that you all this binge watching or, you're gaming and all, is there any time limit? Which can you tell a child that, look, you can use the phone for 1 hour a day or, is there anything of that sort which works?
We are still working on to develop the research evidence for what should be the appropriate time limit for children's, adolescents, or adults to use technology use. But till that criteria comes up, I would recommend that whether if they can start at least 1 hour digital fasting. If that 1 hour comes in their lifestyle, definitely it will promote control. And we also recommend young children, adolescents that after 30 or 40 minutes of screen use, they should take a break. And the break should include blink their eyes 10 times so that eyes get relaxed, move their head forward, backward 5 times each so that neck strain goes off. Again, move your head right and left 5 times each. And then followed by move your wrist clockwise and anti-clockwise 5 times each. If these 3-4 steps are done every 30 to 40 minutes of screen use, they can definitely avoid the dysfunctional physical impacts of excessive use of screen. And if they build up this control, automatically the control will build up in their behavior also. So 1 hour fast digital fasting and 30 to 40 minutes of screen use, do these steps will be a milestone. And again 30 to 40 minutes before sleeping time, if they can avoid screen use and sleep with some offline activities.
Okay, so we have a lot of readers' questions which we have collected, but before I go there, I just want to ask you two more things. One is, are there any physical, like you were talking about, of course, the way the neck pain and your eyes and those things. Other than that, have you seen at your clinic where people have come to you with physical problems coming in due to gaming addiction or any kind of tech-related addictions? Because recently there was a research which spoke about heart arrhythmia happening due to online gaming in children. So have you come across anything like that?
Basically, broadly, when we say most of the adolescents do come with a problem of fatigueness, body pain, and sometimes pain in the wrist area and elbow areas. And sometimes they do report pain in the fingertips and also because they have to use type and do other things, So these are the broad problem which we see among adolescents. But recently, though we still need evidence, but recently we found that one of the family members reported to us that because of gaming, they found a significant change in the walking style of the adolescent boy. And when they took physical physician consultation and when all the investigation was done, it was found that his vitamin D levels are quite low. And the physician attributed this could have been because of long hours of gaming behaviors and no physical or social and outdoor activities. So, but this finding is very market for us, but needs exploration. But definitely, but this finding implicates that there is a need to reduce technology use as well as improve the physical and social activities. Scrolling syndrome. Scrolling is like a compulsive habit. You keep during free time, during whenever you feel bored, you just keep browsing or scrolling your mobile phone. But if it continues, long-term impact still we have to see, but definitely it takes away a lot of your productive time. And since you are using a small screen, so definitely it will affect your eyesight. It will definitely bring strain and fatigueness in your body. But long-term impact definitely has to be seen. But the term has come, we understand it in terms of scrolling syndrome if you have this problem.
Okay. So we have some readers' questions here. I know this is a very vast subject, so we've just picked about 5 questions. If we can quickly answer them. Sir, Kritika Ramurthy from Mangaluru is asking, tech addiction has made me mentally obese. Is digital detox real? Is it possible? If yes, how? I think we have kind of answered this question briefly. If you could just elaborate a little.
I think digital detox is possible, but only thing what you need is to make up your mind to change your lifestyle. We are not saying avoid phone use, but bring more offline, physical based, social based, or family based activities in your day to day life, and take care of your biological function. Your sleep should not get disturbed with the due to mobile phone, because generally what we are seeing, most of the users do sleep with the mobile phone, and if you are sleeping with the mobile phone, we have seen through our research that 60 to 90 minutes loss of sleep definitely happens. So take care of your sleep and take care of your other activities. And I would again say, bring digital fasting in your lifestyle as well as in other family members. If whole family plan digital fasting, definitely it will promote digital detox.
Okay. So Radhika Nagraj from Mysore is asking, my house becomes a war zone every night. She says, on one hand, I am working at home as a homemaker, and my children, when they come back from school, are on mobile phone. My husband is watching YouTube videos. I feel our relationship has become very hollow. So how do we sort this out?
And again, I would say the emphasis remain on save some time to have quality based activity in the family context. Even though all of you are busy, all of you do want to spend time on online, but plan some proportionate time. All of you can leave your mobile phone, leave your screen, and being to with each other, talk to each other, and share your positive experience of each day. If that happens, it will enhance the bonding and it will enhance a lot of communication between family members.
So a Twitterati is asking us, we don't want to name the person. He's saying, how do we handle a situation if elder in the family is addicted to porn watching?
That's a concern, because nowadays porn watching, first again we have to understand why this porn watching has come into their lifestyle, because we can't advise them not to watch porn and all, because that's a second line of treatment. First we have to understand what are their reasons. Is it reason is free, common reason is free time, boredom, or the reasons can be in terms of attachment, in terms of relationships, in terms of intimacy, or in terms of some support. So we don't know what are their reasons are. So definitely somebody understand their reasons, then accordingly these reasons can be worked on, and if once these reasons get addressed, they will show a reduction in the pornography use also.
Okay. So we have
there would be no state advice abstinence. There would be no state advice for abstinence.
Okay. So there is one question from Aditya CN, who's a software engineer from Vizag. He says OTT platforms are very tempting, and I feel that's the only way to wind down after a busy day. Can that lead to addiction?
Definitely, I think what now we are working on what we call binge watching. Binge watching is more than 3 episodes in one go, 3 to 5 episodes if you watch in one sitting, or more than 120 minutes in one sitting. If that is happening, definitely it will becomes a compulsive habit, and once it becomes compulsive, then remain a thin line that where is normal use and where it is a excessive use. So what generally we recommend that after each episode, if you can just take a break of 5 minutes, engage yourself in some task, move out from, leave the screen and do something else, and again if you feel in need, watch the second episode. If this kind of small control if you build up while watching OTT platforms will help you to exercise control and have a healthy and enjoyable OTT activities.
Okay. So one last question we have. Rohit Ganapati from Chennai. He's saying, my son says he wants to be a professional gamer, and he spends a lot of time learning to code, watch other games on YouTube, learn hacks, and even play the game. So is it okay for us to let him be that? And his son is now 14-year-old.
This is a common problem. Most of the parents are facing. Young children wants to be a gamer, and they want to they stop taking interest in academics and other activities. Since gaming, one side gaming is a upcoming industries, it is coming up in form of e-sport also. One side we are talking about addiction, but other side it is a e-sport industry also. But general advice based on our psychosocial context, we recommend that if they still can balance between gaming and other offline activities, like being regular in schools or being regular in physical activities and other things. But beside that, if they want to continue to take interest, we can allow them, but not at the cost of sacrificing their offline interest and activities.
Doctor, there are many questions which have come on our email, but then due to time constraint, I think we'll have to stop it here and probably we'll take the questions on another day on the same topic. Doctor, if we can quickly in a minute summarize, and if you want to tell our viewers something in 1 minute, if you could just tell us if there are any quick tips or anything we want to say.
What I would say, this advice would be for the whole family that spend quality time in the family context, communicate with each other, know each other, and before you make any judgment, have adequate knowledge about the why he or she is into the excessive use of technology. If these things happens, it will promote good bonding, good understanding, and it will also help you to motivate your child adults to seek treatment. But digital fasting will remain a milestone, so continue to have digital fasting, plan digital fasting each day for some period of time.
Thank you very much for your time, Doctor, and it was pleasure talking to you. That is all we have for today. Thank you for watching.